Hey guys, it's me. I'm here, and at the moment it's 4:35 in the morning. I stayed up watching the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, and I am ready to air my results and views. And the good thing this time, I've actually printed off some notes. Yay! You won't have me reading from the damn screen whilst everything goes wrong, trying to fiddle with the webcam, trying to fiddle with the notes on the screen. I printed them out just before I got here. Good stuff. Now, I was actually quite optimistic going into this pay-per-view. I thought to myself, got potential, could be interesting. Went into it with quite a high optimistic mood. And obviously these notes beg to differ. It is actually, to be honest, quite difficult to note things down whilst you are watching it. I tell you, I'm not good at hand-eye coordination or anything like that. Looking at a TV, which is just over there, and typing a computer over here. It's not easy. But I did what I could, and let's get on with it, shall we? Right, we started off the night with quite an interesting one first. We had the Alberto Del Rio Kofi Kingston match, which had a good start for the promo at least, with Del Rio coming out saying how much the crowd are basically stupid people, not realising how much his destiny is, and effectively that he will go to WrestleMania and fulfill his destiny by becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. Well, definitely a good way to start the match off from getting a cheap heat. Kofi comes out, Cole doesn't like it. Idiot. Anyway, let's put these on my computer so I can actually read them. Right. Anyway, Rodriguez distracts Kofi for a power slam. Kofi counters an Irish whip into a drop kick for 2. I did notice something though, that Del Rio was getting chants at the start of the matchup. Bit weird. Rodrigo looks as Del Rio is outside the ring, helps him, tends to his wounds. Kofi then goes outside, does a kick to the back of the head, puts him back in the ring, lays down a few punches. Del Rio counters an Irish whip and puts Kofi onto the ropes. Kofi then thrown into the ring post, and then gets out of the ring, then thrown into the steel steps, put back in the ring for 2. Del Rio latches on a body scissors. Kofi then fights out, and Del Rio does a knee to the gut, followed by a hair pull slam for 2. Del Rio then drags Kofi up from the ground into a backdrop. Hold on, I keep getting lost even though I've got the notes here. Into a backdrop for 2. Back into the body scissors, pulling on the hair and the throat this time. Booker T's commentary is entertaining me, which is quite strange. I'm not a big fan of Booker's, but big deal. It's quite lively. Kofi then fights back. Del Rio swings a kick to the gut, then Irish rips Kofi into the ropes. He jumps off the top turnbuckle and hits Del Rio in the face. Booker tries to not mention Jeff Hardy because it resembles a whisper in the wind. He keeps saying, "Oh, he looks just like a guy I know who knows Booker T well and wrestled him in the ring." He tried not to mention Jeff, but it was funny as hell nonetheless. Oh, it just made me laugh quite a bit thinking, yeah, he's with TNA and he's on a drug charge. Not good to mention him on WWE programming. Anyway, drops on a drop kick by Kofi, followed by the boom drop. Nice. The crowd weren't really into it, but I got that. Kofi then lined up for trouble in paradise. Del Rio countered. Kofi, jumping to the turnbuckle, swings a kick to Del Rio, and he jumps off the top rope crossbody. Del Rio counters with the knees to the gut, which I thought was nice. Good counter there by Del Rio. And only gets 2, believe it or not. Del Rio then puts Kofi onto the top rope. Tries to pull Kofi off into a superplex. Kofi then pushes him off. Kofi pulls off a really high drop kick, which I believe at first that Booker T oversold. But looking back on it and the replay, it was quite damn high. He did oversell the excitement, going, "That's the biggest damn dropkick I've ever seen." It probably would have been. If I wasn't live in there, I would have gone mental seeing that. Anyway, where am I? Foo. That only got a 2. Booker T also oversold it. Knee to the gut by Kofi, but Del Rio got put into a fireman's carry, double knee drop, which I thought was pretty innovative on my end. That only got a 2. Del Rio then whips Kofi into the ropes. Kofi hits a DDT out of nowhere. Nice. Rodriguez then distracts the referee from a cover, which Kofi used his somersault flip pin thing. Rodriguez technically distracted the referee to make sure the count only got a 2. Good distraction. Kofi hits another DDT, which then countering the armbar in the process for 2. Kofi then jumps onto the turnbuckle. Del Rio hits a lovely but sick neckbreaker. Seriously, Kofi's on the top turnbuckle. Del Rio gets him, plants him. Love it. Rolls in the armbar. Kofi fighting and clawing at it with all he can. Del Rio eventually locks it in. Kofi has no choice but to tap out, gets the win. I predicted Del Rio for the win. He got it. Me in a good mood. Now, I have to admit, this match was a bit slow at times, but it did have some really good moves. That neckbreaker, that fireman's carry, double knee, excellent. I have to admit, Del Rio put over Kofi's ability well. Both men showed what they're made of, which made Kofi look strong, but also made Del Rio look strong in the process. And technically, going forward to Mania looking strong as a Royal Rumble winner is a good thing. I expected what I got from this match, and it delivered duly. I'll give it 2.5 stars. Good. Could have been better if they were given a bit more time, but it was good for what it was. I have to admit that. I'm telling you. It was alright. Impressed. A good way to start the match and the pay-per-view knowing that Del Rio wins. Right, the next one was the World Heavyweight Championship Smackdown Elimination Chamber match. I predicted Mysterio going into this one based on the feud, but everyone else was saying Edge. I'll take a look in and see what happened. Right, Kane, McIntyre and Barrett go into the pods. Then Teddy Long comes out and I think, oh, okay, he's announcing the mystery guy who's replacing Ziggler. And it turns out to be the Big Show. I actually completely forgot about the Big Show. I completely forgot. And I didn't see it coming. I was a bit shocked. So I literally just, like I forgot Kane being the number 40 entrant for the Rumble. I didn't see it coming. That shows how rubbish I am. Mysterio and Edge then came in to start the match. There's a lot of notes here, so I may fit through as quickly as I can. Edge backs Ray into the turnbuckle, which he fights out of. Edge then Irish whips Ray into a flapjack, which I don't see often, for 2. Stomps Ray into the corner, throwing him into the opposite corner. Ray counters and whips Edge with a head scissors into the centre of the ring. Nice. The whip attempt, where Edge is then countered by Ray, and he runs at Edge, gets flipped onto the steel. Nice, good first attempt there. Drew taunts Edge furiously, and as Edge goes to the top rope, Hurricane Rana by Ray off the top rope, which is pretty damn good to see on my end. See, with a lot of notes, you kind of get lost, but this shouldn't really happen. God, where am I? Ray gets 2. Edge then pushes Ray into the chains, kicks him around on the floor, which I think looks pretty sick. Just to know that even Edge is a face, he can still have aggressive tendencies. Nice. Ray is then thrown into the plexiglass of Kane's pod by Edge, which is awesome. It's a bit of a sick thud, though. I thought, oh, they closed on the camera on it. Sick thud. Ouch. Definitely flinched at that. Edge then throws him back into the ring for 2. Another Irish whip by Edge puts Ray into the corner, and Edge misses the running move. The clock then goes down to 0 as Barrett enters the chamber. He then beats down Ray with kicks on the floor and near the turnbuckle, but then Edge comes and beats Barrett down. Edge then throws Mysterio onto Barrett. Mysterio is then thrown onto the steel, a black hole slam by Barrett on Edge for 2. And then Barrett does something I haven't seen in a while, a pump handle slam. I do not see that move often in wrestling nowadays. Good to see it. And there's a lot of these moves that I don't see nowadays that were in wrestling games years ago. Good to see them back. Only gets 2, believe. God. Only gets 2. Barrett then throws Edge into the chains and back into the ring. He covers for 2. Barrett's looking quite strong so far, based on his dominant doing. Edge then dodges the Irish whip and Barrett goes onto the steel. Ray jumps on Edge, goes to the top rope. Barrett stops him, puts him again in a waistline position, hits Edge when he swings him round. Ray then hangs onto the chains, climbs up. Barrett then gets him up in a powerbomb position, if you can imagine it. Then puts him a head scissors into the 619 position back in the ring. Edge then kicks down Ray for a 2 count. Right before he hits it. The clock then goes down to 0 as Kane comes into the match with big uppercuts to Mysterio and Barrett, big clothesline to Edge followed by a gigantic kick on Barrett for 2. The Irish whips Edge into Barrett in the corner, which is quite nice to see, followed up by a side slam on Barrett. Mysterio gives a kick to Kane's head, knocks him down for 2. Edge and Barrett then go at him with kicks to the head for 2. A period of Kane dominating Barrett for a while. Barrett then fails to slam Kane into the chains. He then gets steel to the face. Hey, definitely good to see him get that. Brilliant. And Mysterio then attacks Kane from the top rope. Gets a sick uppercut, an absolute thud uppercut puts him in the Tree of Woe position. I do not see the Tree of Woe position happening. Edge then drop kicks him to get the 2. And how that only gets 2 is beyond me. Clock counts down to 0. McIntyre enters the match. Ferocious start by McIntyre. He goes right at Ray. Throws him like a missile right into the plexiglass. Brilliant move. McIntyre and Barrett then work together on Kane, doing a nice double clothesline to get him out. And then as Barrett's getting back of the ring, he kicks him in the nuts, or what it looks like anyway, from outside the ring. And throws him into the glass full on. That was one of the best moves in the match. Brilliant. And showing that McIntyre showing evil tendencies here. This is good. He's showing character development, because of course he's sick and annoyed that Kelly got fired. Good thing to see that he's showing a bit of character. I don't think I'd see that. Where am I? Yeah. Then beats down Edge in the corner. Nice snap suplex by McIntyre on Edge for 2. Future Shock DDT countered by Edge into... Oh, balls, I've lost it. Into an execution. Edge then goes for the spear. Then he runs into Kane. I'm trying to make sure I keep track here. It's a bit hard to keep an eye on the camera as well as reading these notes. Where am I? Oh, bollocks. Edge then goes for the spear, runs into Kane's chokeslam hold. That's then countered into the ropes for Ray to hit a 619. Edge then counters that. Ray's thrown into the turnbuckle, through the turnbuckle post by Kane, straight through into the glass. Damn! I have not seen that done either. Brilliant! McIntyre gets the Future Shock DDT set up, gets thrown by Kane onto Barrett. Edge hits Kane, and all men are down. The clock goes to 0 as Big Show enters. Yippee, Big Show. Show knocks down everybody, slaps McIntyre a lot, absolutely whacks him. Show then goes after Barrett, throws him with one arm into the glass, and he's slapped multiple times in the chest repeatedly, and you can hear the crowd are eating this up. The knockout punch by Show eliminates Barrett. Sorry to see Barrett get eliminated. I thought he'd do a lot better than that, knowing his dominant display earlier. Ray is now on top of the pod. Yeah. On top of the pod. And then Kane is on the top rope. A clothesline to Show. Edge then hits an elbow off the top rope to the Big Show for 2. McIntyre then does the Future Shock on DDT on Big Show for 2. Mysterio then hits Show from the top of the pod for only a 2 count, because the Show powered straight out of it. Unbelievable. A big boot by Kane to Big Show, followed by a 619 of Mysterio's. That is then followed up by a spear by Edge. Kane throws Mysterio outside the ring. Chokeslams the Big Show to eliminate him. I didn't think Kane would actually eliminate Big Show with a chokeslam, knowing that he probably doesn't have the power left. McIntyre gets caught in another chokeslam to eliminate him. Double clothesline by Kane on Mysterio and Edge. Edge is then countered by Kane, which is put into a DDT by Ray for 2. Nice. Ray then drops the dime for 2. Ray springboards onto it, which gets into a chokeslam position, which is then countered into the 619 position on the ropes. Hits a 619. Kane counters into a powerbomb position type move. Edge then when Ray is folding over, so he's up the move up here, then down like that. Then Edge spears Ray into Kane, covers Kane for. He covers Kane, eliminates him. However, Kane isn't finished yet. He then takes down Edge and Mysterio. Kane kicks Edge, chokeslams them both, and then leaves. Kane doesn't want to leave a scene of destruction, knowing his history between both of those men here tonight. Edge is then running for a spear. Ray counters for a roll-up for 2. Ray springboards into the crossbody, which is then countered by Edge for 2. Facebuster by Mysterio only gets 2 again. This is ridiculous. Ray goes onto the top rope. Edge punches him. Ray then headbutts Edge violently until he falls off the top. Ray jumps on Edge, which he counters in mid-air into a sit-down powerbomb. Catches him, puts him in a sit-down powerbomb. Ouch! How the hell that didn't get 3 is beyond me. Honestly, I thought it was it. Edge then goes for another powerbomb, which is counted into the 619 position. 619 hits. He catches him. As he gets it, pulls him out and turns it into the Educator submission hold. I'm thinking this is over. Ray counters into a roll-up for 2. Edge then sets up for the spear. He misses and hits on the rebound. But Ray's still kicking out at 2. This is unbelievable. And Ray then kicks him in the back again for a 619, connecting this time. Hits the body splash, but this time only gets a 2. This is back and forth action here, and this is unbelievable. Oh, God. Heads by Ray to the ropes, gets another 619. Does the body splash off the top rope, but Edge springs up, hits the spear in midair. 1, 2, 3, the win. Absolutely breathtaking ending. Brilliant moves by both men. But this isn't over yet. The match may be finished, but this whole scenario isn't over because Del Rio comes out, drop kicks Edge in the head, beats him down a bit, then latches in that cross arm breaker, and you can see Edge is in real agony here. This is not good. This is not good. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, the music hits. It's Christian. Christian is back. Oh, I jumped around like a mark for this one. I jumped around like nuts. I knew he'd come back for this. I knew he'd be involved in some way. Comes down, beats up Del Rio, and then before getting restrained by the referees, breaks out, hits him a few more times, does the unprettier, leaves. What an absolutely brilliant match. I have to say, it was back and forth action, multiple glass smashes, which made me happy, loads of near falls, and I was on the edge of my seat through practically the entire thing. Unbelievable. It slowed down, however, when Kane dominated, and I have to admit, when Barrett was eliminated by Big Show, it made Barrett look weak, because after all he'd done, I thought he'd get more time. I thought you'd see Big Show be eliminated by Barrett, have him come back later and eliminate him, kind of thing. Setting up a match for Mania, etc. You see where I'm going with this. However, McIntyre looked very strong. Christian's return was absolutely awesome. I knew he'd be involved, and I'm really happy he did. Edge and Mysterio, I'm happy that Reg won in a way, but I know that the Christian is now involved in this. I thought Mysterio could win. I knew he'd get some win in the final two. Didn't expect he would. An amazing, great match. It wasn't perfect by any means, but it still had great stuff. It was, of course, missing more. I think one thing, I just don't know. I think this missed a bit of epic moves that you'd see, throwing people off the top of the pod, and just having a lot of time where a guy could be held in a submission move and be kept for absolute ages, knowing he won't give up, kind of thing. So these guys are literally wrestling for their careers. I know the ending was fantastic, that back and forth pins for Ray and Edge. It was great, but I did want a little more. I wanted a little more to kind of whet my appetite here. I'll give this match 4 stars. I'll give it 4 because it entertained me no end. It wasn't perfect, but that ending actually really bumped the match up. That Christian coming back really bumped it up for me. And I'm really happy. 4 stars. Not as good as the Ziggler Edge match from Rumble, of course, but I'll give and take. Right. Then we found another announcement that happened a few minutes later, that Trish Stratus is coming back as a Tough Enough trainer. Yippee! That is great news. They're getting me some real big names back for this. Unfortunately, it was dogged by a stupid, lame segment about catchphrases with Booker T in the ring. Oh, I thought Kong would debut. I literally thought he was saying, you know what, you're training young wrestlers. I personally have a wrestler here who could basically trouble you. And I thought Kong would come out and kick her ass. Didn't happen. Next up, we got the Tag Team Championship match. I'm not in the least bit interested. Santino Marella and Vladimir Kozlov against Justin Gabriel and Heath Slater of the Core for the WWE Tag Team Championships. I have to admit, I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't know everything down. It's fair to say, I didn't know everything down. But the one thing I did notice, that both, at the start of this match when Marella got tagged in, him and Slater were countering a submission hold where they had a huge triangle hold over Morella's head. Slater then countered it, rolled down into more submission moves. Quite like that, they were counting off each other. Kozlov was showing his power moves well, with the battering around Gabriel, looked quite sick, running at them and powering them all over the place. And near the end of the match, nice arm drag by Marella on Slater whilst Gabriel was on the ground. Cool. Cobra on Gabriel, and then he goes over to Slater to pin him for 2. Why? Nice reverse DDT by Slater on the edge after Gabriel was dragged out by Ezekiel Jackson on the outside. Ezekiel Jackson, and then of course Slater tags in Gabriel. There's the 450 splash for the win. To be honest, only these little moves, the correct result, I would have given this a 0. I would have given this a big fat 0 because it just, the result was what I wanted. It made a bit of sense, and that was it. I honestly weren't too impressed by this. It shows the tag team division still has a lot of way to go. I'm going to give it half a star because I'm that generous. I am that generous because this match was a dud, apart from the fact that the result was good, and at least Marella showed he has some ability in the ring, and Kozlov showed he still has a monster heel ability to him. Put him back in. Put him back in to the heel guys. Make him and Sheamus a team or something. That That would be a dominant team, and I mean, it would give Sheamus some build. Anyway, Vicky Guerrero come out to complain about Ziggler's firing. Monster heat, though. I've heard a lot of heat, but fuck me, that's a lot of heat. Crowder, literally, I could only just hear her. It was that loud. Teddy Long comes out to tell Vicky that he's in a hiring mood and that she should stop embarrassing herself. Thinking, oh, Ziggler's hired again, she goes completely nuts. Kelly's back instead. She's quite angry, gets beaten down a bit before Lay Cool come out. Then they beat her down with the things, just do what they have to do, you know. And then out of absolute nowhere, Trish Stratus comes out, does her finishes, serves Lay Cool a bit of her medicine. Nice. Feel that she might get involved in an interpromotional type matchup for WrestleMania. You never know. Next up, The Miz versus Jerry the King Lawler for the WWE Championship. Now, my prediction going into this was The Miz. However, as the closer the match came, I was rooting for King because I wanted to see King be victorious. I'm looking around to my dogs over there. I was looking at King and thinking, come on, they've got to have King win to make the fans go nuts. I'd love to see it. I was going in a kind of a fanboy Mark mood where I was saying, come on, the wrestler in me wants to see King win. And unfortunately for me, I was really annoyed because I wanted Miz to win for my prediction. I wanted King to win for the fact that I'm being a fan here. So, excuse me. Apologies. I just literally thought, why not? Let's do it. Anyway, the match goes like this. A quick roll through by King gets 2. Miz as an Irish whip by Miz, which is then countered into a backslide by King for 2. Followed by another inside cradle for 2. A shoulder block by Miz, then knocks King down. King then hits a clothesline for 2. Then a jumping crossbody by King gets 2. Nice fist jab by King, which backs Miz into the corner. Does the 10 punches, followed by a clothesline to the outside. And at this point, Cole is just ranting and fighting, whilst Matthews and Booker T are saying, come on, King. Cole is just shouting his head off, and it is annoying me. I'm trying to focus on this match and type things down, and he's just shouting his head off and going, ugh. Shut up, Cole. Shut the fuck up. Riley then distracts King as he gets thrown into the post by Miz. Miz puts King on the apron, knees King into the head. Nice. Head and then puts him back in the ring for only a 2 count. A camel clutch type position is then pushed into the ropes by Miz, putting the knee into the throat. Cool. Miz then backs off. Riley kicks King in the head. Miz gets 2. Miz then delivers a flying clothesline and goes to the top rope. King then goes up, hits a superplex. But unfortunately, he kind of swerves in midair, so he lands on his chest. And I think King noted it was actually I think it was a botch, I think. And Booker kind of saying it was a modified brainbuster type move he was going for. Wouldn't be so sure on that, Book. I just thought it was a botch. Doesn't really count for anything. And then a nice drop kick by Lawler, followed by a back body drop, then a fist to the face, and he gets 2. A scoop slam is then countered by The Miz into a closed fist by the King. Riley then pulls the King down by the ropes. Ref sees it, throws Riley straight out. Great to hear, great to see. It's good to know that the King is saying, yes, now it's an even playing field. Hold on a second. Weren't you a minute ago saying that Riley was there doing nothing, helping The Miz? Does not make sense, King. You got to get your Cole. It doesn't matter, Cole. You got to get your bloody head in. You're not doing it right. Right. Miz then misses a running shoulder block and then goes countered into a roll up by Lawler for 2. Lawler then sets up a pile driver. Miz counters, kicks him in the back of the head to get 2. Lawler then counters that into a backslide for 2. Miz gets thrown out of the ring. Cole is then distracting King on the outside. Then Miz throws him onto the table a bit. King then counters that, throws Miz into the table a load of times. And then, the best moment of the whole night for me, Miz is then thrown onto Michael Cole. I am laughing my head off. I am enjoying it. Seeing Booker and Josh enjoy it as well is awesome to see. King then hits the fist drop from the top rope for 2. A skull-crushing finale is then countered by King. King DDTs Miz to the canvas. Goes to the top rope, hits the fist drop again. Miz gets the foot on the rope for 2, though. I was having my heart in my mouth thinking, come on, King, win it. And the foot on the rope, I looked at it and thought, yeah, he's going to put his foot on the rope. Done. King then sets up another pile driver. Miz rolls through. Miz basically he tries to get in a back body drop. King rolls through, gets another pin attempt. The pin at that attempt is then countered into Miz getting a pin. Then it gets down for another, and it's basically a mixture of pin counts. I can't really remember. Miz kicked him in the head again, punches him, gets him in the Skull Crusher finale for 3. I thought to myself it wouldn't end that way. I thought King would do a pile driver and get ready to hit another fist drop. The referee would be distracted by Riley, allowing Cole to come in and smack him in the head with his headset or his crown or something to get the win. Cole celebrating with Miz at the end. Oh, I shuddered quite a bit. And seeing his face going, yes, on the outside was funny, but it was just sickening at the same time. I have to admit, this was a bit slower than I expected, but it picked up nicely with King's offense, so he hasn't got ring rust after all the time that he's been out of the ring. Miz didn't get too much offense, though. And that's one problem. You're trying to build a WWE champion, you've got to give him a lot of offense. Not a small bit of offense, but quite a bit. King dominated the match. It made him look weak. Miz didn't make himself look very much worthy of the championship. And that's what people have been saying about his title reign. That he is effectively not worth the time. I have to say, because Cole didn't interfere, it took my idea of what happened in the match down. I thought King would win it, but luckily my prediction did come through. It was not as good as I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be way better. And I expected a lot more from this match. Mostly from Miz's side of the party anyway. Because knowing him, I thought he would have got involved. 1 star. 1 star. I would have given it more, but unfortunately for me, it just didn't do the goods. I am afraid that's that. And, yeah, sorry, but it should have been better. Should have been way better than I thought. Now we're on to the final match of this night. We're on to the Raw Elimination Chamber matchup. Cena, Punk, Orton, R-Truth, Morrison and Sheamus. I think everybody was saying, Cena, Cena, Cena. The small guy in me was thinking Morrison or Punk. I don't know, I had a little bit of trepidation on myself going into this. Orton and Punk and Cena entering their pods. R-Truth is in a pod. Bloody hell. But then again, looking at how they're going to use Sheamus and Morrison to start the match off, get their things in, good stuff, I say. And on with the match. Headlock takedown by Sheamus, holds Morrison down on the ground. Punch to the head, dazes Morrison, but he lunges Sheamus down to the ground himself. Throws Sheamus to the outside, he dives over the ropes onto Sheamus. Sheamus then throws Morrison into the pod. Hey, that's gotta hurt. Morrison springboards onto the chains, kicks Sheamus in the head. Well, I'm getting a bit dizzy now. Where am I? Foo. Kicks him in the head. It's not actually quite a sick kick. Jumps, springboards off onto the chains, kicks the head. Nice. Very nice indeed. Thought, it's going to hurt in the morning. Big clothesline by Sheamus, though. Hits him in the outside, or the outside or the inside, I can't remember. Morrison then counters a throw into the turnbuckle. Attempts the Starship Pain. Sheamus then throws Morrison face first into the glass. Sheamus then chucks Morrison into the chains. Presses his face into the glass of Punk's pod. Clock then counts down to 0. Orton is then let into the match. Orton goes after Sheamus, unleashing power slam after power slam on him and Morrison. Puts Sheamus on the outside, and then puts Morrison on top of him. Orton then throws Morrison into the glass, and beats Sheamus down into the chains. This is then followed, quite sickly, by the Hangman DDT. I love seeing that move down at the best of times. On steel, I'm thinking, that's gotta hurt. Ugh. Ow, that's got to be painful. Orton then stomps Morrison and Sheamus down at the same time. Covers Morrison for 2. Orton pushes Morrison into the turnbuckle, onto the top turnbuckle for a superplex. That only gets 2. Then puts Sheamus on the top rope for a superplex. Only gets 2 as well. Nicely. Nicely done there by Orton using a bit of strategy. Both men down with the same move. Equal chance of not getting up. Clock then goes down to 0. Punk is then let in. However, he is trying to struggle out of his door, and he can't get out. He can't get out. The lock is somehow jammed. He's trying to force his way through the door. Orton then punches the living daylights out of him as he's fighting his way through. And just as he gets out, Orton puts him in the ring, delivers an RKO for the 3. Punk is eliminated. Shit way to go. However, everybody, the Raw GM butts in, saying that Punk wasn't given a fair chance to enter the match, and he's put back in his pod. Yeah, Raw GM of all things. People are going crazy. The guys are going crazy on commentary, especially Booker T saying, "Oh, what's GM got the authority to do this for?" Yeah, I'm happy Punk's back in. Endo. Orton beats down Sheamus. He hits the Irish Curse backbreaker for 2. Sheamus then puts Orton up for the cross power bomb. Don't know what it's high Irish Curse bomb or whatever. And Morrison kicks him in the head after doing that. Morrison is then thrown to the outside and pressed into the chains by Sheamus. Clock counts down, and then the big John Cena enters. Mixed reaction from the crowd. Nice to hear. Sheamus immediately goes to Cena and beats him inside his pod, pressing the knee up against Cena's head into the side of the glass. I'm not going to call it the attitude adjustment. I won't do that. Cena does the FU on Morrison to the outside. He stands up, hits Cena from the top rope, though. Cena then throws Morrison outside onto the steel floor. Cena and Morrison unload punches on each other. Sheamus hits them with a flying double clothesline through the ropes. Pretty cool. Orton then flips him back into the ring. Sheamus is Irish whipped, and Orton does an Austin-style throwing punches onto him, followed by a nice-looking knee drop for 2. Kitchen sink is then done by Sheamus. I love seeing that move when it gets done. Puts Orton down. Clock goes down to 0. R-Truth is in. Sorry. And knowing R-Truth, Sheamus tries to go in and try and beat him up in the pod. Truth fights back, smashing his head against the glass, and that follows up by a hip toss on Sheamus outside on the floor. Cool. Truth then hits the Osaka Street Cutter on Morrison inside the ring. I put this as my guy's finisher move on the wrestling games. I have hardly ever seen it in the ring. Great to see that move done, especially by a guy like R-Truth. A Broad kick is then hit by Sheamus shortly afterwards. R-Truth quickly eliminated. Easily done. Morrison kicks Sheamus repeatedly for a 2 while he's on the ground. Morrison then pulls Sheamus out and then kicks him in the head again. Orton then throws him into another pod. Cena and Orton then punch out in the centre of the ring together, halted by a missile dropkick on Cena by Orton for 2. The clock comes down and then Punk enters for the second time. Cena tries to FU Orton, but gets an RKO for his troubles on the steel floor. Sheamus then kicks Orton. Punk can kick Sheamus. Punk covers Orton for 2. Punk then copies Orton's taunts and hits the GTS on Orton for 3. Orton is gone, setting up WrestleMania feud nicely. Punk then hits a flying knee to Cena on the outside and drives a knee into Sheamus, who throws him into the glass and then onto the steel. He's in a bit of pain, riding his shoulder quite a bit. Definitely hard there for us to think, oh god, I hope he hasn't injured himself. Morrison and Sheamus battle it out. He then goes on to the top of the pod. Sheamus trips him up on the top though. Sheamus climbs up. Sheamus then lines up the crossbomb up on the top of the pod, and I'm thinking, oh my god, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be bowling shoe ugly, as JR once said at some point. Morrison then fights out, pushes Sheamus down to the canvas. Now this is phenomenal. If you get to see this pay-per-view, watch it for this moment alone. Morrison then climbs up the side and goes climbs up the top chain area. He's climbing on the dome, for God's sake. He's climbing on the dome of the fucking chamber, and then he does a jumping crossbody onto Sheamus to eliminate him. I was going nuts. It was unbelievable. And it's simply, I have not seen a move like that in my life. Anybody in the WWE who's watched WWE for years has never seen that. Phenomenal. I've waited for RVD to do something like that. I knew someone was going to do it someday, but they did it. Cool. Punk then runs at Cena, who does his jumping shoulder blocks and protoplex of doom, lining up the 5-knuckle shuffle which connects. He then puts Punk in an FU position outside the ring. He's fighting it. Morrison then jumps on the turnbuckle and lands on both men. Punk then goes for the cover and gets on Cena and gets 2. Punk is selling his hurt shoulder quite well. Good psychology there. Morrison then runs at Cena, who's in front of the pod. Cena then jumps out of the way. Morrison runs straight in the pod, ramming his knee into the plexiglass, and he is writhing around in agony, selling that knee injury. Great to see good selling of an injury there. Absolutely brilliant. Punk then covers for 2, locks in a triangle choke on Cena and beating his head ferociously. Cena then fights out, gets him in an electric chair position, and then I see Morrison out of nowhere going, what the fuck? Jumps off the top turnbuckle on one leg in the body. Good double team move. Don't see them a lot nowadays, I have to say. Morrison then covers Punk for 2, then tries to cover Cena for 2, selling his damaged knee again. Cena then hits the FU, but Morrison goes to the steel floor, goes to steel floor and Punk kicks Cena in the head. Punk then springs off the ropes onto Cena, again getting a 2 count. Punk then catapults Cena into the glass. Punk then does the same to Morrison, catapults him. However, Morrison then grabs the pod, flies onto the chains, and then jumps off those and connects a knee to the head of Punk. Morrison then goes for the Starship Pain, misses, and lands right on the injured knee. That's gotta be painful. Punk then hits the GTS to eliminate Morrison. Then Punk gets up, Cena tries to do the FU, holds on to the ropes, realises he can't do it, FUs him onto the steel, 1, 2, 3, that is the end of the match. I knew Cena was going to do it, but I didn't think they'd get consecutive eliminations done that quickly. And I was thinking to myself, ugh. Seriously, it was not a good on terms of eliminations. It was slower than the first match. But however, it had good psychology. Selling of shoulder injuries, sewing of the knee. I liked, however, on CM Punk's thigh, there was a markings of where the steel had dug into his skin. That was quite nice to see that was going on. There were some really good moves in it, Morrison's move especially. Cena didn't do too much though, and I thought to myself, if you're going to win, he didn't do that much. He did his moves, got hit by an RKO, the double team. I mean, what else did he do? Honestly, I didn't see him do much, and therefore, in my opinion, he didn't deserve the win. But yeah, Triff did his part though. He did a very small part in the match, but he proved he's got intensity in him and he can pull that kind of thing off. Heel turn? Nah, wouldn't happen. Morrison stole the show again though. Without him, this match would have been a lower down match though. It wasn't as good as the Smackdown Chamber, but with better guys, I think with other guys in there. Say, if Evan Bourne was in there. That would have made the match a hell of a lot better than R-Truth being in there. Would have made it a lot faster pace. A lot more. There was a lot less on your edge of your seat thing. Excitement for me to get into. Sort of, and the glass moves, and the knee, of course, of Morrison getting possibly injured. But that was it. I thought it had the makings of a great match, but it didn't excel. It was good, but it got let down by some bits I did not find very good. The psychology and Morrison alone get this thing 2 stars. The rest of it, majority Punk and Sheamus's part, Orton did a tiny amount of it, gets it up to 3. I'm giving it a 3. I could give it more, probably 3.5. 3 stars on my current rating in a minute. I might change it. And that's the end of it. Overall, I wasn't too disappointed by the main chamber matches. They were good. However, the other matches, the championship matches, especially the WWE Championship and the tag team match, both let this pay-per-view down a lot. And they just, they didn't really hit me. The Rio Kingston match, though, was good enough to even the good away from the bad. 3 good matches to 2 bad matches. I'll give this pay-per-view a 6.5 out of 10. Because it's good. It's good, entertaining, with a little bit more good matches than bad. It's not the best in the world, but it's just above the middle. I enjoyed it. I thought it was worth staying up again. And bring on WrestleMania, baby. Because we've got a minute, we probably have this set up. We probably are going to have a Lawler Cole thing happen tomorrow night on Raw. We've got the Miz versus Cena done. We've got Del Rio versus Edge versus Christian. Yeah, you heard me. That's going to happen. I can see a Kelly, Lay Cool, Trish, Vicky Guerrero type match happening. I can see Awesome Kong probably battling for the Divas Championship if Beth Phoenix wins it, though. Point that out quickly. Or if Natalya wins it. And some other matches. Punk versus Orton was settled. And a Lawler Cole match already got settled a while back. So I've already mentioned that already. And we're going to find out if either Undertaker, Sting, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, whatever happens, anything can happen for 21 to 11. I can't say it now. 2:21 tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. I will be up for that, giving my immediate reaction afterwards. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed everything I've done today, please put the subscribe button up there. I would love your support, and it means a lot to me to get some support from you guys. If you want to comment on anything I've said, based on my descriptions and stuff like that, put the comments down there. Hit the like button over here somewhere. I appreciate all your support, guys. It's keeping me doing these things, and I'm happy, and I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania now, because at the moment, WrestleMania has it now on paper. The Rock, though, makes it a bit any more interesting. I will see you guys on Sunday next week when I will do a talk on why our stable's necessary today and how tag team wrestling has declined in the WWE. I will see you guys next week. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you with another prediction, pay-per-view, result view thing next month. Well, not next month, in April. WrestleMania, baby. WrestleMania is definitely coming around. I will see you guys next week. I hope you all have a very good week and that all good things that happen to you do. See you all. I need to go get some sleep.